All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Speaking Warrior Training with SMLONE and Nanyang School. Today is exactly on Wednesday, 22nd December 2021, and with me, Reni, will be your master of ceremony today. I'm so happy to see all the trainees behind the stage. I can see they are already excited and ready to give their best. First, let me tell you the purpose of having a real stage. We know that it is the beginning for all of the students. This is the start for them. This is the first journey for them in the public speaking journey. Through the school, students get the chance to learn public speaking. In the beginning, they don't feel comfortable speaking in front of the public, but through this platform, the school gives them a chance to boost their confidence through public speaking class. They did very well, and we do believe, like SML1 always said, making you better you. Not only having good skill in delivering speech, but we also need to have good manners so we can make an impact in our life. So, ladies and gentlemen, the speakers are all ready to showcase what they've learned during the class. Are you ready to watch? Now, I would like to give you a spirit far from here and let us meet our two judges today who are experienced in the public speaking field and also SML1 trainers. I would like to welcome our first judge, teacher Kevin. Hi, teacher.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you having me here. Yes. To all participants, all students, my best wishes all of you. I believe you have prepared well and today is your day in the final stage. I believe you will be the true warrior after this and rock the stage. Yourself, keep calm and keep rehearsing until your time is. Back to Miss Rainey.
All right, thank you, teacher Kevin, for your words. And now let's welcome our second judges today. Please welcome teacher Angeline.
Well, thank you very much, MC. Hi, everyone. Once again, I want to congratulate first everybody for being on real stage. I know you will do well. Best of luck and just do your best. Have no worries because you are now one step ahead already. Right, once again, all the best, and I'll come back later. Thank you. Back to you, MC.
Thank you, teacher Angeline. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we also have to say thanks to all the teachers who have supported all of us from the very beginning. We know that some of us will feel difficult to do speech in the beginning, but our teachers supported us all the way. And we also need to thank our parents that support us in our life project, providing us with the best education and environment. So through this moment, we could thank all the people that always supported us, like our parents, sisters, brothers, and family. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know all of us cannot wait to watch all the performance from our amazing trainees today. So let's just kick start to the real stage after the 60 seconds ahead. All right, 60 seconds is up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you, our first speaker, who will deliver a speech about gardening as a hobby. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Finley. Minli, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, now the stage is
So
yours.
is the audio clear? Okay. Hello, my
Yes, your
name
audio
is
is clear.
Finley and I am from JH3 Generosity, and today I'm going to talk about gardening as a hobby. To tell the truth, I never really did such activity before, though when I'm at second grade, I once bought a pretty soft baby pink rose and put it in the school's garden since we are allowed to do so. In fact, I think it is a must to at least be in charge of one pot of plant. I'm not sure if they still continue such activity. My pot of plant, my pot of rose died pretty quickly because many people just seem to be so intrigued by it and can't help but to touch them. I still remember that one particular time where someone just touched the petal and the flower directly go bump. I was standing there and watching that happen. I will be lying if I don't say that I'm upset and hurt because that plant was bought by my dad. Though I'm really surprised at how fragile it actually is. A week later, it's gone. I guess it was thrown away because how it looked. It will obviously look that. Though enough with my tiny experience. Let's move on discussing about gardening as a hobby. Gardening may be a fun, relaxing way to get in touch with nature since we interact with plants and such. But not only that. Such activity also has plenty of health benefits. Gardening is good for both mentally and physically and can be enjoyed by people of all ages. Plus, you can get to enjoy delicious fresh fruits, vegetables, herbs that will be rewarded from your hard work, which sounds exciting. It only takes a little bit of gardening to work up a sweat. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it just a study of 2.5 hours of the activity each week can help to reduce risks of many health problems, including heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. Gardening may not seem like an exercise to most people, but all the lifting, shuffling, and raking involved definitely counts as one. Well, it all depends on what you're taking care of. Your brain also benefits from time spent in the garden. Being outside in the fresh air and sunshine is an effective way to boost your mood. In fact, gardening has shown to be helpful in reducing the risk of depression. If something is weighing heavily on your mind and some things may not be working very well for you, gardening can be a distraction and may bring you joy too. Don't forget the health benefit that come from the produce you grow. Gardening is a simple way to get more fresh fruits and vegetables into your diet, and you are sure to appreciate them even more because of the hard work that you put into them. I will sure appreciate them more because all the time spent, patience and waiting. Maybe some failure along the side too, while growing those plants. When it comes to deciding what to plant, it can rather be hard to know where to start, with many varieties of vegetables, fruits, and herbs out there. But if you are new to gardening, keep it simple. Choose the plant that is easy to grow and take care of. Make sure to do some research to at least get the basic of gardening. Herbs and greens such as lettuce, kale, and collards may be an excellent choice. It may not be an easy journey, especially for beginners, but those foods are full of important nutrients and can benefit a lot for those who consume them. Gardening is also an excellent opportunity to try new healthy foods combinations that will help you and your family become more adventurous eaters. Growing a variety of produce is as fun as it is healthy. Though if you don't get it the first time, never let it discourage you. This activity requires patience, but it's all worth it when you get to eat your own fresh produce. Make sure to prepare all the proper tools, gears for a safe and effective gardening experience if you are interested in gardening. You don't need to buy the best tools, as it may be pricey. A good one and can get the work done is just enough. Those that I mentioned are not only the benefit of gardening. Planting and growing plants can clear your air as trees filter carbon dioxide out of the air. Gardening also relieves stress and get your heart stronger as it is also an exercise. There are still so many more benefits and it is an activity that I would recommend if one have time to kill. I would like to try it once, but maybe in the future. If planting vegetables, herbs, and fruits may seem too much for gardening as a side hobby, you could consider about having a small pots of plants. It may not take all those lifting, raking, and shoveling like planting bigger plants, but you still interact with nature. It's not only it's not that simple with small pot of plants because you need to take considering on changing soil pots and more. And after taking care of plants, no matter how small or big they are, at the end you will appreciate the nature more. And that's all I have for my speech today about gardening as a hobby. Thank you for the attention and I would like to pass the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Finley. What a nice speech from Finley. Now, let me invite our judge who will give their feedback. Please welcome teacher Kevin.
Yes. How are you, Finley? A relief after finishing your speech?
Kind of nervous.
Okay. First of all, congratulations to have finished your speech. You look great. You deliver it very smooth. And it is a good persuasive speech. Why I say so? Because in the closing, you mentioned it, that gardening is good and we need to love the nature more. And every message that you deliver sounds like, yeah, you really persuade us why we must garden. And yeah, it's a good hobby. Perhaps next time you could bring more impact in the speech if you could show us some of your gardens, maybe like the visual aids to stronger your message. And please pay attention to the eye contact so that the audience know that you are interacting with them. You deliver it very good. Congratulations, Finley. Back to Miss Rainey.
All right, thank you, teacher Kevin, for your feedback. And thank you, Finley. Now, let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. All right, 60 seconds is up. Now let me welcome to our next speaker who will deliver a speech about the importance of health. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jovita. Hi
Good
Jovita,
morning.
are
My
you
name
ready?
is
All
health
right,
is
on the stage.
the normal and sound state of the body. This is a great source of peace and happiness. Health refers to a state of sound mind and physical fit body free from any disorder, sickness or ailment. In simple words, health refers to the physical, emotional, and physiological well-being of a person. Hygiene refers to the good practice that prevent disease and leads to good health, especially through cleanliness, proper sewage disposal, and supply of safe drinking water. It refers to all those activities that are done for improving and preserving maintaining sound health. The proverb says that health is wealth. It is truly said that all things in the world, health is the most valuable that one can possess. Money is no doubt a pleasant thing. However, it can give no pleasure to a man of ruined health. As body and mind are closely connected, the mind cannot be sound and cheerful without sound health. Life is a great struggle, and health is the best weapon to be successful in the battle of life. A healthy man can enjoy life in every way, and, an unhealthy man lives a most miserable life. He may have intelligence, merit, and wealth, but he cannot put them to use and reap their benefits. Hygiene habitats for good health examples are 1. Pure water. Pure water is another source of good health. A great deal of sickness is caused by using impure water. People in village often bathe and wash clothes in kettle in tanks. If their water is used for drinking purposes, it may bring disastrous disease. To make water pure, it should be boiled so that it may not do any harm. Second, balanced and nutritious food. Wholesome food keeps our health good. A part of the food we take serves as a fire to keep the body warm. Another part forms flesh to give us strength. Pure milk is the most nutritious food. Vegetables and many other things that we generally take are nutritious food. A mixed diet is the best food for us. Stale and rotten food is dangerous for health. Meals should be taken at fixed time. Overeating causes many diseases. Special care is necessary about food when any epidemic prevails. Third, cleanliness. Cleanliness is necessary for good health. It is the most important hygiene habit. Dirt spread disease because germs thrive in it. They move about with the dust in the air, so a dirty man is easily attacked with disease. The man who has clean body and puts on clean clothes is free from dirt and dust, and no disease can attack him easily. Daily bathing is good habit. It keeps our body clean. We should keep our clothes, beddings, food, utensils, and all other things neat and clean. No dirt should be allowed to gather near our houses. We should always keep our teeth and nails clean. We should remember that cleanliness is next to godliness. Fourth, eye care. We should take great care of our eyes. Both indicate light and excess of light and harmful to our eyes. Eyes become fatigued by study and require some rest. Bathing in the eyes with cold water at night is good hygiene habit. Other measures for good health is like 1. Regular exercise. Regular physical exercise is necessary to keep good health. Walking in an open air every morning and evening strengthens the muscle of the limbs and quickens the circulation of blood. A game every day before sunset is very advantageous. A man taking regular exercise will be much better fitted for the duties of life and languid bookworm will. Second, pure air. The first requisite is pure air. To secure good health, we must have sufficient supply of air. For this, we should keep the environment clean and not damage it. 3. Proper sleep. Many people sleep too much. This renders them indolent. On the other hand, a zealous student goes to the opposite extreme. Both these practices injure health. Early to bed and early to rise is the best course. In my conclusion, we must learn proper hygiene practice to preserve our health. Too much work or exercise, eating or drinking are injuries to health. A regular life is very helpful to a sound health. Above all, the mind too must be kept clean and pure. Thank you. Now I'll give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you so much, Jovita, for your speech. What an informative speech. Now, let me welcome our judge who will give their feedback. Please welcome Teacher Angeline.
Well, hi, Jovita. How are you feeling after your real estate speech?
Relief.
Okay, yes, relief. Right, Jovita, because I personally like your speech very much. That was a very informational speech. You even gave tips on taking care of our health, starting from how to take care of our eyes, our body, and all aspects of a person. So I think that is a very complete speech. And you also started off with a great opening, body, and closing. The transition was smooth and it's very well organized. You wrap it very perfectly. So very well done, Jovita. Because Jovita, you have a great content, I'd like to present you with some aspects in the delivery. All right. So when we are delivering speeches, we want to make sure that it is interesting and engaging enough so that the audience will be interested and then the audience will continue listening to us from the beginning until the end, right? And to help you to create an engaging speech, I think I have one suggestion for you. So this suggestion is about the camera angle. I think when you are talking, right, one of the way to engage with the audience is through eye contact. All right. And when we have a camera angle that is a little bit, when we have a camera angle that is the same height of our eye level, it will help us to give a direct eye contact to our audience, and it increases the engagement with the audience, right? So if you could adjust your camera angle to the height of your eye level, it will not only help you with the eye contact, but if you also use hand gesture, it will be seen very clearly on the stage. All right, by that, you are going to have more engagement, and I believe your speech will be very impactful to everybody. All in all, that was a great speech, Jovita. Once again, congratulations. Keep on delivering speeches because I know, Jovita, you are on the right track and you are going to make it big later. Thank you, Jovita. I'm going to give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Teacher Angeline, for your feedback. And once again, congratulations to Jovita who passed real stage. So now let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. All right, now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome you, our next speaker, who will deliver a speech about improvisation. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kid. Hello, Kid, are you ready?
Imagine you're being interviewed because you're the witness of an incident that made it into the news. How are you going to answer the reporter's questions without any preparation? Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to be making a speech on improvising. Before we go any further, let me explain what improvising is. Improvising, or impromptu, is simply put doing things without preparation. Let me give an example. Let's say you're on the stage giving a speech to a large audience. However, you suddenly forget what comes next after 2 minutes of talking. In spite of that, you keep on building things in the script without any preparation to continue on and finish your speech. That is improvising. However, that is not the only situation in which you can improvise. Let me give another example. Let's say you're calmly sitting in your living room watching the television when your phone rings and your friends say that they're coming over to your house for a party. However, you forgot that you're going to be having a party at your house, and so you didn't prepare. Then you decide to just quickly put together everything in your house to make it fit for a lively party. And that's another example of improvising. Now, I'm going to be telling you about the upsides and downsides of improvising. However, just to keep things simple, we're going to be talking about the upsides and downsides of improvising in a speech. First, I'm going to tell you about the upsides. One of the upsides is spontaneous speaking. Because you're improvising, you're most likely going to be making short sentences. And short sentences are most likely to capture the audience's attention. The other upside of improvising during a speech is that you get to boost your self confidence. Now, unless you're an extrovert, you're going to be very nervous before you even start speaking publicly. However, just like with any other public speaking, once you get through it, you're going to be like, oh, this isn't bad at all. Now, time for the downsides. The first downside I'm going to tell you about is the lack of vocabulary. Because you're making short sentences while improvising, like how a man uses a log to cross over a river, you're most likely going to be using simple sentences because there's not that much comfort in using extremely complicated words, right? The other downside is the lack of speaking. Unless you are really good at it, improvising will make you only do a couple of short sentences, which will cut down your speaking time. Another downside is that it's not meant for use in important occasions, such as a meeting with the government. Because think about it, who wants to improvise an already prepared speech in front of the president? As for the last downside I'm going to be talking about, it's the mannerism. Now, this one's the most easily bypassed one because some people, like me, can think really quickly and so they don't have to bother about the mannerism. However, some others can't think as quickly as us, and so they'll most likely be saying uh, and the like. So now that I've already finished explaining about those things, it's about time I tell you about my experience with improvising. Personally, I improvise a lot. However, thanks to the public speaking sessions, I've never improvised even more in my entire life. There were a couple of roles which I had to do, and in nearly all of them, I improvised a lot. Take the speaker, for example. I improvised at least three scripts alone. One of those scripts was about friendship. And before I thought about making the script, that script about friendship did not exist at all. Another role is the evaluator. Now, unlike some people which take the script of the speaker, write it down inside of their evaluation, and continue the rest as the speaker speaks, I simply listen to the speaker and write down everything. Not really everything, but the important parts so that I can quickly form up a script to help evaluate them. As for one of the most improvising roles, the external speaker, let's just say that was a little complicated because my mind couldn't really keep focusing on the questions. Some of the questions couldn't really keep me with a real answer, and I had to bother with the mannerism a little bit. Now that I've explained a lot of things, it's about time I end the speech here. So in conclusion, improvising is doing things without preparation, and it will help you speak the answers to the questions the reporter gives you. Thank you. That's going to be all for me. I would like to give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Kip, for your speech. What an informative speech. Now let me welcome our judge who will give their feedback. Please welcome teacher Kevin.
Hi, Kate Kansuan. How do you feel? Great? Yes, first of all, congratulations for finishing your speech. What I love from your speech is starts from the beginning till the end. In the opening part, you tell us, you define what improvisation is. That is a very good attitude. And every hand gesture that you make is very explainable and it's very related in the message that you would like to deliver. And your your confidence is very good and it shows from your facial expressions. And the way you pronounce it is very good. You know when to place power, you know when to put the pause in it. It's perfect, a very good structure of a speech. I believe you prepared very well. And still there is some part for you to improve on. First, would you like please to stand up so I can see your surroundings? Okay, so from the way the positions you sit, actually for me is a bit matter because just not the way you sit, the way you place your left hand, if I'm not, it makes you look arrogant. Although you looks confident, it looks like you're very arrogant, though actually you are confident in the things you are talking. And some parts you need to be more relaxed because your expressions too tegang. Just relax, you are doing great. And by keep rehearsing, by keep improving, I believe you'll be a great speaker. Well done, Kate. Back to Miss Rainey.
All right, thank you, teacher Kevin, for your feedback. And congratulations, kids, for your pass the real stage. Now, let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome you, our next speaker, who will deliver a speech about animals. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ken.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Skans, and today I want to talk about animals. Animals are really important in our lives. They offer us a lot of stuff. For example, like food, meat, eggs, and many more, many more. And also clothing, for example, like wool and leather. Also, one fact that me right now in Jakarta, I also have a pet. I mean, it's not actually mine, but it's my mom's pet, which is a dog. There's two dogs totally. Pets like this can also help us in our lives. For example, if we are sad, depressed, or bored, we just need them. Those examples are not only dogs and cats. It could be birds, fish, rabbits, and hamsters. I know there's just a lot of them. There are tons of species of animals in the world. They exist on both land and water. I think I don't need to give some examples of them. I bet everyone can tell the examples. But in conclusion, each of them have their own purpose of their existence. Back to the importance of animals in our world, like what I just said just now. They can offer us food, but that's not it. Some of the animals even came in use for transportation purposes. For example, like horses, elephants, and many more. But they can also be used on farming and agriculture purposes. One great example is the ox. People traditionally use animals for farming. Some of them are also used in laboratories. They are mostly used on drug testing, normally used on rabbits and rats, so that researchers can predict any future disease, so it can protect us from harm. And the last example, which is they can come in use for recreational activities, and like how some of them were trained in the circus to make some cool tricks to entertain us, especially children, and also zoos and safaris, so that we can come close to the animal, come up close to them, to know what kind of species are there and also their nature. We should just really thank these animals that they have helped us and made our day better. Those are some examples for the importance of animals in our lives. Without them, the human race will not be able to survive. But now the problem is, how do we protect them? How do we protect the animals? You see, there's a lot of endangered species, even the extinct one, of course. Well, who do you think have probably done it? Well, it's back to humans again. People used to hunt down animals, normally the endangered one, for money. They are normally sold in the black market, and it's just really disappointing because it could be really cool if some of them, I guess the extinct species still exist in the world right now. For example, like the mammoths, an elephant with a pretty long tusk and also a hairy skin. Another example is the dodo bird. Is part of the pigeon family, but they can't fly. They are like the fat pigeons. And also they were hunted down because of their beaks and many other animals. And also some endangered species, for example, the kiwi birds. They have a round body and a long beak. Another endangered animal that everyone should know is the polar bear. What's cool about them is certainly their fur, their white fur, which looks really gorgeous. And the cause of them being endangered is because of global warming. It causes habitat loss for them by how the ice in the world is melting, which is why we should take care of the environment as well. Another one, which is the horseshoe crab, which is the coolest crab I've ever seen. I think it's the most unique crab, and most people say that it's a living fossil, meaning that they have existed millions of years ago, and is still alive until today, which is actually insane. It has a really cool hat that looks someone like an umbrella, I guess, which is so cool. And one example of endangered animals from Indonesia, which is the orangutan. It's a monkey that has the orange and brown fur, and they are pretty big. And the reason they were endangered is because habitat destruction again, which is the rainforest in Indonesia. But nowadays, most people have realized and already started to take care and conserve these endangered animals so they don't repeat the same thing or to hunt down animals. There are actually several ways that you can do to protect these animals so that they're not extinct. For example, doing like the 3 R's, or you can say reduce, reuse, and recycle, and then protecting their habitats. For example, like stop logging, or you can say deforestation, because the habitat will be gone, and also mining as well, especially when you mine coal, it will be very, very dangerous, and overgrazing that could cause the habitat loss for them too. I think that's a little speech about animals and why we should protect them. Thank you everyone for listening, and I will give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Ken, for your speech about animals. Now, let me welcome our judge who will give their feedback. Please welcome teacher Angeline. Teacher, please, I'm sorry to cut you, you are muted.
I'm so sorry. Yes, now my voice is clear, right? Okay. Well, all right. Again, Kent, congratulations. You have just finished your real estate speech, and I feel like you are an expert in talking about animals. It shows that you really know what you are talking about. That was really great, Kent, and I really love how natural you were when you were delivering your speech. I think your speech was really enjoyable, and the topic itself is very interesting. So, good choice of topic, Kent. And furthermore, I also like how you use your hand gesture in the beginning of your speech. And I think if you can add more of hand gesture, it will be even more engaging. All right. And I have one challenge for you in the future, because this is considered as an informational speech where you tell us information about animals, right? Various kinds of animals. I think it would be more interesting and colorful if you could also show the picture of the animals, right? You can actually use printed paper and then just show it to this on the screen. And I think instead of just listening to you, the audience will also see your picture and they can directly imagine the animal along with your explanation. That would maximize the impact. All right, Ken? All in all, that was a great speech. That was very interesting. And Ken, I believe you'll be a great speaker in the future. Congratulations and best luck for your journey ahead. Thank you, Ken. Back to you, MC.
All right, thank you, teacher Angeline, for your feedback, and congratulations, Ken, to pass real estate. Now, let me have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. Alright, 60 seconds is up now. Let me welcome to you our next speaker who will deliver speech about global warming. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lovelyn.
Hello everyone, today I will talk about global warming. Let's first understand what global warming is. It is basically the rise in global temperature due to the greenhouse gases that are released into the atmosphere due to human activities or inventions. The greenhouse gases consist of water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and ozone. The human activities that contribute to the release of such gases are due to the burning fossil fuels to generate electricity, which is also the leading cause of carbon pollution, and coal industries contribute a great deal in releasing such harmful gases. So when these gases are released into the atmosphere, they tend to absorb the solar radiation that otherwise naturally bounces off the Earth's surface. And these pollutants that trap solar radiation suspends in the atmosphere for centuries and raises the global temperature. This is called the greenhouse gas effect, causing to dry up oceans, polluting the air, ice loss at north and south poles, and melting of glaciers, and leads to climate change such as storms, heat waves, wildfires, hurricanes, droughts, and floods. These extreme conditions are only depleting the Earth's inability to inhabit life. And the threat will only increase in the coming years, which will make it difficult for future generations to inherit a sustainable planet. This disruption of habitats due to climate change is the consequence of global warming, and if one wishes to curb this deadly cause that is threatening every habitat on Earth, we shall take steps together along with the government. We have to understand that all the global warming reasons are due to environmental pollution. Electricity and transportation contribute largely to global warming, so we must begin there. It is important to note that there is no silver bullet, and we must all come together to tackle global warming as a whole. Every home, business, industry, individual effort is required to tackle this crisis. As coal produces tons of carbon dioxide annually, we need to find ways to clean up coal. We can also tackle global warming by beginning with putting agriculture in the system. We must encourage farmers to adapt to greener farming practices. For instance, they must till land less often and plant trees on vacant land. Moreover, the same regime needs to be applied to under-industrial producers of carbon dioxide. For instance, the transportation industry of cars, trucks, planes, and more produce 28% of the carbon dioxide emission. Thus, we must reduce these emissions by enhancing the fuel efficiency of the vehicles. Also, it is high time we got rid of all oil and gasoline-based fuels. On an individual level also, we must work to adopt a greener and healthier lifestyle. Try to drive less and walk more or take public transport. Get into the habit of recycling and avoid unnecessary wastage of goods. Save electricity by switching off appliances when not in use. Most importantly, plant a tree as a single tree and absorb 1 ton of carbon dioxide in its lifetime. You can effectively start doing this by spreading this message to near and dear ones and help reduce global warming and thus conserving our planet. One Earth we have, one life we live. Let's not destroy each other's lives, but to save it. Save Mother Earth from pollutants. If I can do it, so can you. Stop global warming. Remember, the change begins with you. I think that's all. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you, Lovelyn, for your speech. What an informative speech from Lovelyn, and what an important message it is. Now, let me invite our judges to give their feedback. Please welcome Teacher Angeline.
Right. Hi. Hello, Lovelyn. That was a very great speech, Lovelyn. Thank you very much for spreading the awareness about global warming. And Lovelyn, I especially love how you close your speech with a message. That was really, really great. And Lovelyn, I want to help you to bring this speech to the next level. So, Lovelyn, I think it would be better if just now when you're speaking, you can show us your whole facial expression and also your hand gesture, because by that I think it will help to support your speech in a sense that it adds a little bit of engagement to the audience, right? But overall, Lovely, that was your content is very great. Your content is very educational, and your tips shared is very, very cool. So with just a little bit sparks of belly free, all right, you are going to be a great speaker. So very well done, Lovely, and once again, congratulations. And I'll now give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Teacher Angeline, for your feedback, and congratulations to pass real stage. Now let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. All right, now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome to you our next speaker who will deliver a speech about why teens use or misuse drugs. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Megan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about drugs. Why teens use or misuse drugs? Various factors can contribute to teen drug use and misuse. First-time use often occur in social settings with easily accessible substances, such as alcohol and cigarettes. Continued use might be a result of insecurities or a desire for social acceptance. Teens may feel indestructible and might not consider the consequences of their actions, leading them to take dangerous risks with drugs. So, what is the common risk factors for teen drug abuse? First, a family history of substance abuse. Second, a mental or behavior health condition such as depression and anxiety. Third, impulsive or risk-taking behavior. Fourth, a history of traumatic events such as experiencing a car accident or being a victim of abuse. And the last one is low self-esteem or feelings of social rejection. There are also some negative consequences of teen drug abuse that might include: first, drug dependence. Teens who misuse drugs are at increased risk of serious drug use later in life. Second, poor judgment. Teenage drug use is associated with poor judgment in social and personal interactions. Third, mental health disorders. Drug use can complicate or increase the risk of mental health disorders such as depression and anxiety. Fourth, impaired driving. Driving under the influence of any drug can impair a driver's motor skills, putting the driver, passengers, and others on the road at risk. And the last one is changes in school performance. Substance use can result in a decline in academic performance. Drug use can result in drug addiction, serious impairment, illness, and even death. Health risks of commonly used drugs include the following: cocaine, risk of heart attack, stroke, and seizures. Ecstasy, risk of liver failure and heart failure. Inhalants, risk of damage to heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys from long-term use. Marijuana, risk of impairment in memory, learning, problem solving, and concentration. Risk of psychosis, such as schizophrenia, hallucination, or paranoia. Later in life, associated with early and frequent use. Methamphetamine, risk of psychotic behaviors from long-term use or high doses. Opiates, risk of respiratory distress or death from overdose. And the last one is electronic cigarettes, or known as vaping. Exposure to harmful substances, similar to exposure from cigarette smoking. Risk of nicotine dependence. You're likely to have multiple conversations with your teen about drug and alcohol use. Choose time when you're unlikely to be interrupted and set aside phones. It is also important to know when not to have a conversation, such as when you're angry with your child or you aren't prepared to answer a question and your child is drunk or high. What to talk to your teen about drugs? First, ask your teen's views. Avoid lectures. Instead, listen to your teen's opinions and question about drugs. Assure that your teen, he or she, can be honest with you. Second, discuss reasons not to use drugs. Avoid scare tactics. Emphasize how drug use can affect things that are important to your teen. For example, sports, driving, health, and even appearance. Third, consider media messages. Social media, television programs, movies, and songs can glamorize or trivialize drug use. Talk about what your teen sees and hears. Fourth, discuss ways to resist peer pressure. Brainstorm with your teen about how to turn down offers of drugs. And the last one is, you ready to discuss your own drug use? Think about how you will respond if your teen asks about your own drug use. If you choose not to use drugs, explain why. And if you did use drugs, share what the experience taught you. It is never too late to start talking to your teen about drug abuse. The conversations you have can help your teen make healthy choices in the future. Thank you for the attention, and I'll give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Megan, for your speech. Now let me welcome our judge who will give their feedback. Please welcome teacher Kevin.
Hi, Megan. How are you doing? Such a relief.
Yes.
Okay, Megan, what I can say from your speech is it is very good content. Yes, it is a very, very good speech to teenagers nowadays. You tell us more, and it is a very good speech with a good content. Why I say so? Because not just you mentioning about why kids misuse drugs, but you also give a solution, such as kids needs to talk to their parents if they are doing wrong. And yes, you you prepared very well, a good body with a perfect closings. I love from your speech. And some tips for your inputs is maybe your facial expressions. Put more expressive, don't be too monotone, more relaxed. No one's gonna bite you. and your eye contact don't be too obvious that you are reading script, and please, when you're explaining things, put more hand gesture. It will be perfect. You have a great content. Just be brave. You'll be a great speaker, Megan. Back to Miss Rainey.
All right, thank you, Teacher Kevin, for your feedback, and congratulations, Megan, for passing real stage. Now, let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. All right, now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome to you our next speaker who delivered a speech about how to find your passion. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Naila. I'm sorry, Naila, to cut you off, but you are muted.
If you could do one thing to transform your life, I would highly recommend it be to find something you're passionate about and do it for a living. Hello, my name is Naya Kalisa from the University in Nanyang High School, and today I would like to talk about how to find your passion. Passion is one of those words that will either make you roll your eyes because you're a realist who believes work is just supposed to be work, or it will overwhelm you because it's too big and complex to ever figure out. But listen, you don't have to live that way. It is possible to be passionate about the work you do, and it is possible to live a life where you look forward to Monday mornings. The best way to do that is to first discover what you're passionate about. I define passion as simply the work you love to do. You're deeply committed to doing this work and doing it well. You'll get a lot of joy out of it, but it will also come with a lot of struggle and effort. And you'll know the whole time that it's worth it. Imagine this instead. You get up early, jumping out of bed, excited to go to work. You might put in more hours than the average person, but it doesn't seem difficult to you because your work hours just zoom right by. You are often in that state of mind, often referred to as flow, where you can lose track of the world and time, losing yourself in the task at hand. Work is not work, as many people refer to it, but rather something that is fun and interesting and exciting. It's not a job, but a passion that leads to a fulfilling life. So, after having heard of the brief explanation, you may wonder, what does it look like to be passionate about your work? Well, there are a lot of things you can look for when discovering if the work you have in mind is actually what you're passionate about. Like, time will fly by when you're engaged in it. This is very obvious because you are enjoying the moment. You will look forward to it before you begin, even though in the middle of it, you might feel exhilarated. But when you finish, you will feel proud of whatever you created or produced. And you won't mind working hard for it. Well, after all, the word passion comes from the Latin word pati, which means to suffer. You will do whatever it takes to accomplish a task, and you will stay with it for the long run. However, if you dare to ask, how do I find my passion? Well, you can imagine the possibilities and actually search for what you love. It is not only a possibility, but also a probability. So, how do you go about learning how to find your passion in life? Well, I got you covered. Here are some suggestions, or should I say tips, from me. 1. Ask yourself, is there something I already love doing? In other words, what do you feel a strong devotion to? When you do this work or think about it, are you confident you will want to do it even on the days when it's hard? Or, to make it simpler, let's just say, do you have a hobby or something you love doing? Whether it's reading comic books, collecting something, or creating or building. For me personally, if I love doing something or if I'm passionate about something, I would spend hours reading about it, watching about it, and do research about it. 2. Brainstorm. If nothing comes to your mind right away as you're asking, how do I find my passion? Then what you should do is to take out a sheet of paper and start writing down ideas. This doesn't need to be an organized list. It can simply be a paper full of random notes or even doodles. All of this will eventually come in handy later. You can take a look around your house, on your computer, or on your bookshelf for inspiration, and write down whatever comes to mind. There are no bad ideas at this stage. 3. Ask around. There are likely people you admire in life, and there are things about them that you would like to replicate in yourself. Go to them if possible and pick their thoughts and opinions. See how they landed where they currently are and whether they feel they've discovered their passion. The more possibilities you find, the more likely your chances of learning how to find your passion in the long run. This may mean that you spend time talking to friends and family in your free time. 4. Do as much research as possible. After you have known your passion, then what you should do next is to know as much about your passion as possible. If this has been a passion for a while, you may have already been doing this. At any rate, do even more research. Read every website possible on the topic and buy the best books available. Find other people either in your area or on the internet that does what you want to do for a living, and quiz them about the profession, like how much do they make, what training and education did they need, what skills are necessary, and how did they get their start, what recommendations do they have. Often you'll find that people are more than willing to give advice. 5. Practice, practice, and practice. If you have already been doing your passion, don't go with it with amateur skill level. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. If you want to be good at something, to be a professional, you need to have professional skills. Practice for hours on end and learn how to focus. If it's something you love, the practice should be just like a warm-up. 6. Never quit trying. Well, if you still haven't managed to find your passion, it is totally okay. However, if you keep giving up after a while, you are sure to fail. Keep trying for months on end if necessary, and you will find it eventually. Perhaps you thought you found your passion, but discovered several months later that it wasn't for you. Start over again and find a new passion. There may be more than one passion in your lifetime, so explore all the possibilities. Passion is not just for artists, and it's not just for dreamers. We all have the right and the responsibility to do work we're passionate about, because that's what we were created to do. But hey, learning how to find your passion may not be as easy as it sounds, but trust me, it's well worth the effort and it will be the best investment you have ever made. To end my speech, I have a quote that I personally think is really relatable. That is, if you have to look for what you enjoy in life, then you are not going to enjoy anything. Thank you. Now, I give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Naila, for your speech. What an inspiring speech about how to find your passion. Now, let me invite our judge who will give their feedback. Please welcome teacher Angeline.
Right. Hi, Naila. I really was attracted to your speech just now. And Naila, just like how you found your passion, I think today you were very passionate about your talk before. So, Naila, what I really love from your speech today is how you actually, open it with a question. And I love your choice of words. Your choice of words were simple, it was very enjoyable, and yet it sounds very sophisticated. So very well done, Naila. And Naila, besides, I also love how you actually gave tips on finding the passion, as well as you gave your own opinion, your personal opinion about finding this passion. So I think this speech is very original. It comes deep down from your heart. So well done, Naila. If I could add a suggestion for you to elevate the impact of this speech, I'll just give you only two suggestions. The first one is on the facial expression. So I think when we are delivering our speech, by playing with our facial expression, it could add, besides color, it could also help you to support enhancing the sentences on your speech. So for example, you're talking about something very convincing, then you can show your convincing expression. All right, if you are talking about something excited, you can show a little bit of smile. But if you are talking about something very sad, very worrying, then you can show that kind of facial expression as well. All right, that will help you to play with the emotion of the audience. Right, that is the first one about facial expression, and second one is about the camera angle. So Naila, when we are speaking, we want to make sure that we give a direct eye contact to the audience. Therefore, our camera angle should be at the same height as our eye level. I think you can adjust a little bit so that you are not going to, it seems like you are looking downward, all right? So if you could adjust it to the same height as your eye level, you will give a direct and straight eye contact to the audience. How are you going to know you have adjusted to your eye level? All right, if you see that camera point on your gadget, you can measure if you do this, it is already the same height as your eye level. If yes, it means it is the right position. All right, Naila. All in all, that was a great speech. Thank you so much for sharing those useful tips. I love it, and I think this speech should be, should be heard by the people all around the world, because this speech could just give positive impacts to a lot of people. So once again, Naila, thank you so much for sharing, and congratulations because you have done your real stage. Thank you. I'll give the control back to the MC.
All right. Thank you, Teacher Angeline, for your feedback, and congratulations, Ella, who passed real stage. Now let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. Alright, now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome you, our next speaker who will deliver speech about benefit from playing basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michelle.
Hello everybody, today I will be talking about benefits of basketball. Here is a brief explanation about basketball. Basketball is an enjoyable sport that suits many skill levels and ages, owing to its worldwide popularity. A standard basketball team has 5 players per side. You can also play 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 games, or even on your own. With indoor courts, you can play basketball year-round. The main objective of the game is to score points by shooting the ball through the hoop. You use these defensive strategies to prevent the other team from scoring. Health benefits: strengthens muscular endurance. Playing basketball requires agility, strength, and stamina. You must quickly move and change directions using high intensity and short duration muscle contractions. You'll also need muscular endurance, which is the ability of muscles to repeatedly apply force for an extended period. You can increase your muscular endurance by playing basketball and doing exercise to build lower and upper strength. You can also focus on strengthening your core and back muscles. This will have a positive effect on your stamina, energy levels, and performance. Builds healthy bones. Playing a team sport such as basketball can provide unique and physical, mental health benefits. Research from 2018 found that playing a team-based sport has a positive effect on bone strength. People who played handball and football were more bone mineral density than those who were sedentary. Improves balance and coordination. Playing basketball requires you to develop a hand-eye coordination and a foot coordination. As you maintain your balance throughout the movements, as you play, you need to move your body quickly as you jump, pivot, or change direction. Basketball requires you to use motor skills such as shooting, passing, and dribbling. You'll also become skilled in rebounding and defensive movements. Maintaining a strong body will help you perform all of these movements with greater ease. Develops fundamental movement skills. Playing basketball offers you the opportunity to develop the motor skills necessary for development. It is point to the effectiveness of basketball in enhancing the fundamental movement skills that children need to learn. Playing basketball helps to improve motor coordination, flexibility, and endurance. It also encourages speed, agility, and strength. These skills are shown to have a positive effect on promoting a healthy body weight and encouraging more physical activity, which can enhance cardiorespiratory fitness and self-esteem. improves body composition. One of the researchers found that playing basketball had a positive effect on overall body composition. In this study, untrained men underwent 3 months of street basketball training, which had a positive effect on overall fitness and body composition. After the training, the men increased their body lean mass and lowered their body fat percentage. Basketball also boosts heart health. Regular physical activity helps to improve heart health and overall fitness levels. According to the research from 2019, basketball increases resting heart rates, which has a positive effect on cardiorespiratory fitness. This is linked to a lower chance of developing cardiovascular disease. Emotional benefits develop self-confidence. You may develop self-confidence as you find your voice and learn more about who you are in a new situation. As a team, members can encourage, motivate, and support each other. They can also point out areas that need improvement, which can lead to positive growth. Success is on the court that can extend into other areas on your life. And you may find that you have a newfound belief in yourself and your abilities. Basketball also lowers stress by engaging in physical activities releases endorphins, which are the feel-good or happiness hormones. Endorphins may boost your mood, promote relaxation, and reduces pain. They can also alleviate depression, boost self-esteem, and enhance your work performance. Playing basketball will also help you hone your concentration skills by staying focused on the game. This may also help you develop present moment awareness or mindfulness. These tools may be effective in allowing you to deal with anxiety in other areas in your life. Social benefits encourages team spirit. Playing basketball helps foster a sense of community and teamwork. You may have the chance to positively interact with people from different backgrounds, which can broaden your perspective. Plus, you'll learn to play fairly and graciously regardless of the outcome of your performance. Your teammates and you can aim to be supportive, positive role models for each other. Develops communication skills. As you interact with your teammates, you may learn new ways to communicate verbally and non-verbally. You'll have the chance to talk to your teammates and listen to what they have to say. Most likely, there will be time to communicate before, during, and after the game or practice. Whether you learn to speak or stay silent more often, positive communication skills will bring benefits to your athletic, personal, and professional life. That's all for my speech. Thank you. I will be giving control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Nichelle, for your speech. That was an amazing speech about benefit from playing basketball. Now, let me invite our judge to give their feedback. Please welcome Teacher Kevin.
Hi, Michelle. Relief after delivering your speech?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I would like to ask, so your hobby would be playing basketball, is it?
I do play, but not really that much. I play badminton more often.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, Nisha, it is a very good speech from you, a very good constructive. I can see you put a lot of benefits. You do many research in your speech, and I love just how you persuade us why why we should love basketball one day. Because I grew up as a soccer fan, and now I'm thinking, yeah, maybe sometimes I'll play football because it got a lot of benefits. And maybe to make you better, I'd like to give some inputs such as In your opening part, you told us the benefits. Maybe perhaps you don't need to mention it in the beginning. Just put it in the closing and leave us hanging with our own curiosity. So you mentioned the points, key first, second question, and you close it. Guys, those are those benefits playing basketball. So now it's your turn. Is it really benefit? Put ended question will be more beneficial rather than you put it in the beginning. And some suggestion only. I could give another closing points like, guys, 700 calories in 1 hour. Believe me, basketball could be more benefit. It will persuade the others to love more playing basketball than other sports. And another tips is maybe you could put your own experience and it will be more impactful in your speech rather than take other research. Making your own research is your own originality and it has a higher value in your speech. Last but not least, I love just the way your vocal and your tone sound. You know when to put pause, the way you transit, the way transition of your speech is very good. That's all from me. Back to Miss Rainey.
All right. Thank you, Teacher Kevin, for your feedback. And congratulations, Michelle, for passing the real stage. Now let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. All right, now 60 seconds is up. Before I call the next student, I want to tell you to have a proper camera position so we can see your face clear. Now, let me welcome the next. Okay, let me welcome the next speaker who will deliver a speech about family is everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard.
Thank you. Family, a group of weird creatures you are surrounded by from birth. Isn't it funny that in life there will always be one moment that will always be the saddest in each creature life, which is losing one of your family members? Personally, losing one family members, which is either my brothers, my father, my mother, is what scares me in life. I'm afraid of losing what I love in life. Because losing someone you love once they are gone forever. You can never see, hear, and even feel them again. But the saddest from losing them is not to be able to feel their love again. My family consists of 5 people, being my little brother, me, my brother, and lastly my mom and dad. I love my family. My family is not perfect, but they are everything that I need in life. And that will never change. My family is not rich and we are not poor either. We live a very normal and happy life. Like what people always say, heroes don't always wear capes. My parents are very hardworking people. My mother opens her own clothing store and my father works under my grandfather. I love both of them equally. But sometimes I just hate my father because he got a bad temper. Whenever I did a small mistake, he will get mad immediately. But under all of that, he's a very loving parent that I care for so much. I feel like my mother is the best mother in the world. From all the stories I heard, my mother is the best. Because even though something bad is happening, she always try to never let other feel what she's feeling inside. She always inspires me to try a lot of things. Whenever I want to buy things, she always let me buy it. But of course, not unreasonable things. What I heard from a lot of my friends are very strict on their exam score. That they should go above, that get above 80 on their exam score. But my mother isn't very strict. My mother say, just get the passing score. Don't get a red score. That's enough for me. My mother is a very kind and loving person that I feel like I never heard from other parents. I wish that in my next life, I wish I could still be her son. My brother is now in college. He's studying about food science and technology. He's a very smart, knowledgeable person. He's also very kind. But he follows my father's gene. They both got a bad temper. I ever cried when I was studying mathematics with him because when I did some mistakes, he will talk very loudly to me. I try to hold it in for as long as I can, but just one day, I just burst out crying. I just can't stand it anymore. And but all of this happens to me. I'm cried. I get angry. I never feel like he never loved me. He always take care of me for everything that he does. Lastly, my little brother, he's a very rough, cheerful, and also a very pain in the rare kid. He will cry about small things. But yeah, I understand how he feels because I used to cry a lot too. But I still love him. One thing that is very shocking for me is that he's a very smart child. He could easily do his math question and he's also very good at speaking English. My father loves reading. My mother used to be an English teacher. And my brother is also very smart and he learns physics and mathematics. He's also a very knowledgeable person. Well, you see, from all of my family members, I don't feel like I'm the most smart person in this. I don't like to see words or numbers. I like to see colors. I like to see rainbows. Numbers and words make my mind go blank. Well, even though each of us have different tastes, we are still a very loving and caring family. Family is not always perfect. There will always be something that's missing, whether it is about money or maybe personality, harmony, and a lot more. There's one person named Lee Jong Sop. Shows that if you want a happy family, you don't need to have the biggest house or being the richest person alive. In 1916 to 1956, Lee Jong Sop is one of Korea's best-known post-liberation painters. He was not rich and he is not famous at that time. During the war, he just tried to make money out of painting. But when money was limited and materials were more limited. After he made some money, he founded a refuge in Songripo. He said that staying there with his family was the happiest time in his life. He lived in pitiful conditions. One small rented room with a kitchen, the former a mere 4.7 meters square, and the latter not much bigger at 6.4 meters square. But this was the first time he had been able to live at peace with his wife and two sons. But you see, they live very happily just with a small house and a very limited money. You see, a family is always going to be happy if you have a good harmony between each other and the love given by each other. That's why they live very happily in that small house. This story tells that any family doesn't need to be the richest or to be the most famous person in the world. As long as you have a family that could make you happy, that is what makes it a happy family. Family can take many shapes. Family doesn't always need to have a mother or a father. There are people out there who is an orphan. But an orphan also have a family. Family is what takes care of you and teaches you a lot about feelings that you could never felt with your friends or maybe your partner. Family is the link to our past and also the person who will make the path for our future. In time of test, family is best. We may have our differences, but nothing's more important than family. In family life, love is the oil that eases friction, the cement that binds closer together, and the music that brings harmony. Our most basic instinct is not for survival, but for family. In life, family is everything. And since today is Mother's Day, I want to give credit to all the mother out there who's working hard to raise their child properly. My name is Richard Fortino Fulbert. Thank you for listening and happy Mother's Day. I will give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Richard, for your speech. What an inspiring speech about family, and I agree with you that family is everything. Now let's hear from our judge. Please welcome teacher Angeline.
Well, hi Richard. How are you feeling after your
Uh,
speech?
I'm feeling very calm. I'm feeling more warm now than just now. Yes, thank you.
Well, yes, Richard, I could only give you one word for this speech. It's super, super, super amazing, Richard. This
Thank
is
you.
this is one of the most touching speech I've ever watched. And Richard, if I were your mom, I would be very proud of you. Your family would be very proud of you listening to this. You know, a sincere speech would be above anything. And I can feel that you actually deliver this speech, deep down from your heart. It is like from the bottom of your heart. It's very sincere, very soothing, very, very fantastic. Right. And Richard, I believe with the support of your family, I can see you as an individual. You are a good person as an individual itself. I believe you will be someone very great in the future, and the world needs someone like you. So Richard, I'll go back to your speech. All right, I was too drowned to your speech that I really couldn't find the evaluation, but then feedback is feedback and it's the key to be a champion. So I'm going to give you my evaluation, right? And Richard, you have a natural way of delivering your speech in a way that we as an audience could enjoy very much when you were speaking. You have that talent in, arranging beautiful words. You use triads, you use those beautiful idioms that could, create that beautiful memory. And your message really stands out because you repeat that several times. Family is everything. Your message is simple, it's memorable, yet it is very meaningful. So very well done, Richard. And here I have one suggestion for you to bring this speech to the next level. So Richard, when we are speaking, especially in online platform, all right, it is different from offline. When in offline platform, we can spread our eye contact evenly to the center, right and left. During online speaking, right, it is one for all for one. It is on one position, which is the camera point. All right, so I'll suggest you to look at the camera point instead of the screen so that you can distribute your eye contact evenly. All right, only that, Richard, I believe with a little bit of the eye contact, your speech, all right, with the shooting words, you are going to also get the attention from the audience just by looking at them straightly, directly. All right, all in all, Richard, that was a great speech. I know as an individual, you will do well in the future, wherever you might go, you'll do just fine because you have a great attitude and you take what you have what it takes to be a great speaker. So believe in yourself and good luck for your journey ahead. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right,
Back to the
thank you,
MC.
teacher Angeline. Thank you, teacher Angeline, for your feedback. Now let's have a hear from teacher Kevin. Hi, teacher Kevin. Can you hear me? All right. Okay, maybe teacher Kevin have some trouble in the connection, so let's move to the next speaker after the silent moments of 1 minute. This 60 seconds ahead. Alright, now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome to you our next speaker who will deliver a speech about confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sophie.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm going to talk about confidence. Firstly, what is confidence? If you're asked about what confidence means, what will you answer? If me, I'll say that confidence means you trust yourself. You're brave. You don't care about other people's judgment. For example, I am me. I am myself. I know I have so many weaknesses, but who cares? I'm just showing myself. This is the real me. Well, that's my opinion. I guess all of you also have your own opinion about what confidence is. So now, I will tell you what is the exact definition of confidence. So confidence is the feeling of well-being, acceptance of your body and mind, and belief in your own ability, skill, and experience. An example of being confident is you take initiative to be the first to speak. When you take initiative to do something, you're being confident. That means you trust yourself to be the first. Another example is now. When we do public speaking, we also need confidence. Because without confidence, we won't be able to speak freely, calm, and focused. But how to be confident? So here are some tips that you can do to be more confident. 1. Remind yourself that fear doesn't always help. Fear is useful in situations where we have control and can take steps to minimize the risk of disaster becoming a reality. For example, when you want to cross the road. Another example is when we are going to a crowd and speak in public. Our fear may indicate that more practice is needed. But in some situations, fear can do more harm than good. If we respond to any fear-inducing situation like we are in danger, we will eventually lose the precious opportunity to live and enjoy new experiences. A helpful question to ask yourself when deciding how to respond to a situation is, am I avoiding to pain or do I want to grow? 2. Try to be objective and minimize bad thoughts. Usually, the fear we feel is not about the worst case scenario we think about, but it's about how we will feel if that scenario happened. For example, we imagine the worst case scenario when we forget the dialogue and speech content when speaking in public. Then the crowd jeers off stage and we go home embraced, hopeless, and other uncomfortable feelings. The next time we are faced with the opportunity to speak in public, it will certainly be a feeling that will be remembered and frightened even more. Well, to improve and train our mentality, try to be more active and focus on the facts that happen rather than the worst thoughts that may have yet to happen. 3. Take a deep breath. Our physical state has a huge impact on our emotional and mental state. When you feel tense enough, try bending over for 10 seconds and then sitting up straight with a smile for 10 seconds and feel the difference. If we want to increase our courage in a given situation, one of the most effective ways to do this is to slow down our breathing. When we are afraid, our breath becomes faster and shallower. Taking deep breaths sends signals to our mind if all is well and help us to relax. That's 3 tips that you can do to increase your confidence in public. So here are another 3 simple tips that you can do to increase your confidence in public speaking. 1. Understand your topic. This is very important. Because if you don't understand your topic, you can get blank when delivering your speech. 2. Make some notes or you can use a small card. Making small cards will help you to stay on track. 3. Practice. Do you know the quote, practice makes perfect? Yeah, the more we practice, the more prepared we are. By practice, we can increase our confidence. To sum up, there are several ways that you can do to increase your confidence. You can try to remind yourself that fear doesn't always help. Try to be objective and minimize bad thoughts, and take a deep breath. Another 3 ways that you can do to increase your confidence during public speaking are: understand your topic, make some notes or use a small card, and practice. After doing these tips, I'm sure that you can increase your confidence in public and in public speaking. Of course, not everything is instant, so we have to keep practice more and more to be better and better. I hope this speech can be useful for you, and I also hope you can understand the speech that I deliver. Anyways, that's the end of my speech, and thank you for listening. Now I'll give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Sophie, for your speech. What an inspiring speech about confidence. Now let's hear from our judge. Please welcome Teacher Kevin.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi, sir.
It is a very good speech from you. You point out so many key points. Yes, I do enjoy your speech very much, and I feel more confidence now by hearing your speech. It is very sincere from you, and yeah, you have a very calming, charming voice, and yes, I believe you will be a great speaker. So there are some input from me, perhaps that you maybe in the next speech you could play more with your hand gesture, because in explaining things, hands would be more interesting part, and the positioning of your camera, it shows you are not centered in the middle. And please pay attention to the eye contact. You have a beautiful eyes. Whenever your message deliver, you need to encourage and make the audience believe that yes, it's true, you need to be confident. And I just love how the way you conclude your speeches. A very good speech from you, Sophie. Well done, and back to Miss Rainey.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Teacher Kevin. Thank you, Teacher Kevin, for your feedback, and congratulations, Sophie, for passing the real stage. Now, let's have 1 minute of silence for our judges to, to finalize their evaluation. All right, now 60 seconds is up. Let me welcome to the next speaker who will deliver a speech about why is recycling important. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vanetta.
Rise and shine, guys. Hope that your day will be happy as ever. My name is Vanetta, and today's topic for my speech is about why recycling is important. We are a hugely consumer driven society. And recycling converts the things we throw away into new items, making sure that none of the energy and raw materials used to make them goes to waste. It also prevents the air and ground pollution, and of course the release of greenhouse gases that results from dumping waste on landfill sites. But recycling does much more than this. You might think that dutifully putting your plastic bottles and aluminum cans in the recycling doesn't make that much of a difference. But take it from us, it really does. We need to remember that recycling is crucial to the future health of our planet. Here are some reasons why. 1. Conserving natural resources. The world's natural resources are limited, and some are in very short supply. Recycling paper and wood save trees and forests. Yes, you can plant new trees, but you can't replace virgin rainforests or ancient woodlands once they are lost. Recycling plastic means creating less new plastic, which is definitely a good thing, especially as it's usually made from fossil fuel hydrocarbons. Recycling metals means there is less need for risky, expensive, and damaging mining, and of course, extraction of new metal ores. Recycling glass reduces the need to use new raw materials like sand, and it sounds hard to believe, but supplies of some type of sands are getting low around the world. 2. Protect ecosystem and wildlife. Recycling reduces the need to grow, harvest, or extract the new raw materials from the earth. That in return lessens the harmful disruption and damage being done to the natural world. Fewer forests cut down, rivers diverted, wild animals harmed or displaced, and even less pollution of water, soil, and air. And of course, in our plastic waste isn't safely put in the recycling. It can be blown or washed into rivers and seas that end up hundreds or thousands miles away, polluting coastlines and waterways and becoming a problem for everyone. Third, reducing demand for raw materials. The world increasing demand for new stuff has led to more of the poorest and vulnerable people. For example, those living around forest or river system. They are being displaced from their homes or otherwise exploited. Forest communities can find themselves affected as a result of the search for cheap timber, and rivers can be dammed or polluted by manufacturing waste. It's far better to recycle existing products than to damage someone else's community or land in the search for new materials. Fourth, saving energy. Making products from recycled materials requires less energy than making them from new raw materials. Sometimes it's a really huge difference in energy. For example, when you produce new aluminum from old products, uses 95% less energy than making it from scratch. For steel, it's about a 70% energy saving. Making paper from pulp recycled paper uses 40% less energy than making it from a virgin wood fibers. The amount of energy saved from recycling one glass bottle could power an old 100-watt light bulb for 4 hours and a new low-energy LED equivalent for a longer frequency. 5. Cutting climate changing carbon emissions. Because recycling means you need to use less energy on sourcing and processing new raw materials, it produces lower carbon emissions. It also keeps potentially methane releasing waste out of landfill sites. Reducing carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases being emitted into the atmosphere is vital for stopping disastrous climate change. The sixth is cheaper than waste collection and disposal. Lambert's Council in London pointed out that it is 6 times cheaper to dispose of recycled waste than general refuse. So the more you recycle and the less you put in the bin, the more money is saved, which should be good for households, business, local public services, and the economic. Recycling food waste and green waste is a great idea too, which often generate lots of valuable compost that can be used to grow more foods and other crops. Last but not least, tackles youth unemployment. The coronavirus pandemic has caused devastation in all areas of our life, including employment. There are over 500,000 young people aged 16 to 24 out of work, and numbers are expected to grow substantially with the end of the furlough scheme. Instead of propping up declining, polluting industry, the government must future-proof livelihoods by investing in more green jobs. Right now, young people like us are being taught and given careers advice on jobs that may not even exist in 10 years' time. We are setting them up to fail where we could be training them to succeed. If in doubt, remember those 3 R's, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. The truth is, we all need to get into the habit of using less stuff in the first place. And the things we do use ought to be reused as much as possible before being recycled, and to minimize waste. This would be significantly aid the response of the Global Waste Management Challenge, which has seen many countries in the Global South unfairly shoulder the responsibility of managing the waste of countries in Global North. The question of what to do with waste is one that governments cannot ignore. It's important that we combine our efforts to manage our waste with increased call for tougher government action on reducing plastic waste. So this is the end of my speech. Remember that there is no such thing as a way. When we throw anything away, it must go somewhere. It's been a pleasure being with you all today. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Now I will give the control back to the master.
All right, thank you, Vanessa. What an inspiring and informative speech about why recycling is important. Now let's hear from our judge. Please welcome teacher Angeline.
Hi, Vanetta. How are you feeling after your speech?
Great, teacher.
Okay, yes, Vanetta, I can sense that you are a very responsible person because today you share to us the awareness of the importance of recycling itself. And I think this is what all of us need to know. And Vanetta, it is very informational. You put a lot of information there, very detailed explanation, relevant examples, and also I can see that this is a very well-researched speech. So very well done, Vanetta. And besides, I also love how you put reminder at the end of the speech because I think this speech is also towards a persuasive speech where you try to persuade the audience to recycle, recycle, and recycle, right? Reuse, recycle. All right. So, Vanetta, talking about improving your speech, I think I would like to help you with a tip to bring this speech to the next level. You have a great camera position, your voice is very clear, and I think one thing that you can work on is on the eye contact. All right, I was noticing your eye contact screening from the left to right, and to help you with that, if I know this is an informational speech and there are a lot of information to be delivered and to be contained, to be memorized. If you think you need a help on that, you can actually prepare a piece of paper, just put out the points, the important points of your speech, all right, instead of putting the whole script. So if you put the whole script, the audience can see that you are screening from left to right. But then if you put only points, you can elaborate it by yourself. At least that points guide you throughout the speech. All right, all in all, that was a great content, very educational, and I believe with this kind of sharing, our world would be a better world in the future. Thank you so much, Vanetta. Congratulations. And I'll give the control back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Teacher Angeline, for your feedback, and congratulations, Vanessa, for passing real stage. Now, let's have 1 minute silence to our judges to finalize their evaluation. All right, now 60 seconds is up. Now let me welcome to you our last speaker today who will deliver a speech about water pollution. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Winnie.
Hi, my name is Winnie Lee, and I'm going to tell about one of the most common problems on the earth, which is water pollution. Water pollution is a very serious environmental issue that we are facing right now. Water gets polluted when the physical, biological, and chemical properties deteriorate due to human activities. Further, water pollution is responsible for impacting the lives of humans and animals as well. It is extremely hazardous to the environment and must be curbed right away. You might think that the water you drink daily is clean, but it actually contains pollutants. Thus, we need to adopt measures that will help prevent water pollution on a global level for a healthier lifestyle. As I mentioned in the beginning, water pollution is a significant threat to the ecosystem and the senses of life. The major cause responsible for water pollution is definitely the industries that dump waste into water bodies. They do not properly treat the waste and directly dump the harmful toxins in the water. Thus, it hampers the quality of aquatic life badly. The aquatic species consume the harmful chemical which is present in the water and die because of it. Consequently, it is a huge threat to the ecosystem whether on land or water. Moreover, these chemicals also reduce the oxygen content in the water bodies. Further, we see that the brutal use of fertilizers and pesticides that are done in the agriculture sector pollutes the water bodies greatly. When the discharge is not regulated and sanitation is not proper, it contributes to water pollution. Moreover, the humans and animals who consume this water from the polluted water bodies have a negative impact on their health. Besides, these polluted water bodies have become home to bacteria and germs. Thus, they cause waterborne diseases and epidemics like diarrhea, cholera, and more. Similarly, they also contaminate underground water when it seeps through the soil. Thus, we need to prevent water pollution by adopting proper waste management policies. A single organization, government, or an individual will not be able to accomplish this task. We need to do it collectively. We can all collectively control water pollution to a large extent. We need to realize that pollution's solution is dilution. There are several methods through which one can control water pollution. To begin with, the sewage pollutants contain a lot of toxic materials, so they must be chemically treated in order to make them less toxic. A factor which contributes to this pollution is organic insecticides. So we can reduce it by using less stable chemicals in their manufacturing process. Further, there must be regulation of industries, as they shouldn't be allowed to dump the waste into our bodies. Similarly, there must be proper sewage treatment plants in every city. This will allow using the same water in factories and also irrigation. Moreover, this water can also serve as a great fertilizer. In addition, we must also adopt measures to reduce the occurrences of oil spills. On an individual level, we can also do our bit to prevent water pollution. Begin by saying no to plastic as it remains in our ocean for thousands of years. But there are also other than instead of using plastics, we can use other materials that can be used more than once. For example, metal. Reuse the items so there is less waste production. Try limiting the use of detergents and bleaches, and if necessary, use environment-friendly detergents. All in all, it is very essential for all to start practicing a lifestyle which does not contribute to water pollution. We need water to survive, and there will not be life without it. There are also other common problems like global warming and deforestation. Thus, to make the world a better place for the upcoming generation, we must start working from now. That's it for my speech, and I wish that everyone could change their lifestyle so that we could live cleaner and healthier. And I will give back the control to the MC.
All right, thank you, Winnie. What an inspiring speech about water pollution. Now let's hear from our judge. Please welcome Teacher Kathleen.
Hi, Winnie. How do you feel after finishing your speech?
Feel very relieved.
I can see that you've relieved it, and actually I don't see any nervous in you, and I think you feel more confidence. And yeah, I love your speech is when the way you open it, you give us a short opening like the water we used to drink daily. You put us hanging question: is it really clean? It is a grab attention to the audience, and yeah, indeed we are thinking about that right now. And you have a good selection of words. It is very clear. You have a great vocal, and yes, it is a very persuasive speech, so we need to keep clean. And some room for improvement is the way eye contact. You are lacking of eye contact because in my opinion you are reading a script. So if you maybe pace towards to the webcam, you could interact more to the audience. And please, when explaining things, perhaps you could use more hand gesture, because you have a good content, a good speech, a good data, but if you can't interact with the audience, it will be meaningless. That's all from me, Winnie Lee. You did a very great job, a great speech. Well done. Back to Miss Rainey.
All right, thank you, Teacher Kevin, for your feedback, and congratulations, Winnie, to pass real stage. Now, let's have 1 minute silence for our judges to finalize their evaluation. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of Speaking Warrior Training Real Stage. Dear all trainees, remember, no matter how good our speech is, how good the skills we have, but if we don't have manners, we cannot give an impact to your life. Someone always says that to be a good person, you need to make sure you have a great skill and good manners, so it can give impacts to our life. And also remember what the school has taught us. Thank you to Nanyang Zahui School for providing a platform for the students to boost their confidence. And also thanks to all the teachers, family, and everyone. Thank you so much for the support. Let us make this world beautiful from our small actions. So when I see you again. SML1, making you better you. Bye.